Yeah, I thought I'd maybe build on what Jim has just shared as a core in terms of bridging the science and dreaming. Um, Maybe look at maybe three words that can help us in that journey, and it's Tesla's stuff. It's energy, vibration, and frequency. Those three things to be perceived beyond the scientific mind into sensing the connection with those elements at a feeling level will help bridge the scientific mind and the right side of the brain to come together, because it needs the senses need a whole elements of truth, seeing, hearing, and feeling. We need to feel, and that connection to the creator can be felt, and the energy, vibration, and frequency can be attuned in a dreaming, and what we can do in a metaphysical sense. And metaphysical was the word they Greeks used to call philosophy, is beyond the physical, metaphysics. And they got that from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians got it from here. So each culture's picked up pieces, but it traces back to here. So, and the dreaming stories and the way they show it, you'll be able to reference, oh, we got that. That means that over here. It's referenced in the Bible here. It's referenced in mathematics here. It's like, yes, they've already been here. They've been in the quantum field. They've just been waiting for us to be at a certain resonance. And energy, vibration, and frequency creates resonance. When we can be resonating with them, then we can be perceiving into those deeper stories that you spoke of, Jim, of the meaning behind the why, the how. They have those keys and parts of that story. And I say parts of that story because there's other parts to complement it. And one way it was described to me was you can study history, all the history, everything that's been written, but only the conquerors, they wrote the history. And they said, have you heard her story? And I'm like, oh, the other half of the story that we haven't heard. And science has brought us up to this point to create an opening in our mind to perceive deeper wisdom and how it can be shared. So there's my little segue, I thought, just to link off, Jim, in terms of what we are now shaping in the narrative with Gubble, and Gubble shares his love to everybody. He's on walkabout at the moment. We're sort of leading up to next weekend. This weekend, we're actually going on to the ancient ceremonial grounds and bringing the family back home. And Tracey, you've been invited up by the family today to come and join us. So I'm up here picking up Tracey at Trinity Beach here in North Queensland. I'm actually on the beach and it's fantastic. So thanks, Tracey, for bringing me to such an amazing place. And yeah, so we're going to continue the journey with Tracey this week, and she's going to get an opening into some of these deeper connections into the story of the way forward. Gubble has big announcements and big aspects in it. It's the way of being and coming into that resonance. We're going to start sharing that opening of that secret trove that we've been waiting for. Gubble said he's ready to really start sharing that. And so we'll be catching up over this weekend to talk much more about what 2025 and also the lead up to the solstice. We're looking at, I think, really bringing in that resonance of the oneness streaming and giving Gubble a platform to actually talk about that being, and so that we can then come back to that conversation, Jim. I'm happy for that to be really incorporated within the theme of what Gubble can share on the 21st, and how this panel and this group is actually helping to form the narrative and the storytelling of where we're up to and our co-creation in that oneness dreaming. As Gubble sings us into a new dreaming, he wants to have our global family. It can't happen without that. The one and that's what's so beautiful in this time. We're building to something very special. It feels like it's really, we can't stop smiling. Really, it's just all this good stuff and feeling and energy that's coming with it. And we're talking about, it's you can't do this without a high resonance and vibration when you talk of dark to light. And that lightness is, light particles in our being. The more light particles we have in our body, it means that the closer they are together and they can vibrate at a higher rate together. So the more light that we have, the more our vibration increases because of the light particles. So the science and the spirituality is coming together like a spiral up. It's just reconfirming and showing deeper truths that have been observed in nature, and then giving the reasoning rationale and how the dreaming integrates into this. It's that brings the sentientness of nature is through the dreaming it can be perceived. Because in some ways we have to shut off the mind beyond seeing the way in which we've been told the world has been since a child. And when we close our eyes, we get to imagine a potential. But then once we've done that, the tribe said, you're close. Now open your eyes, because it's happening live and direct in front of you. And that's where it's like nature is that very essence. So the meditation for me was a pathway to silence the mind, to create an opening of more, rather than mindful examination. It was about to create a heartful examination, and that dropping into that frequency raises the vibration of then being able to perceive into higher dimensional connection to things that are there, rather than having a very small. And Gubble sort of talks about it. We're in an Aladdin lamp. We don't even know where we can't even see out because we're frosted. And so in a way, we've got to step beyond the trauma and the frosting of our conditioning to be able to realize that we are more than just that. And it's an awakening that he has, I think, an ability to really sing that he's got such strength to be soft. And that softness and the courage to be vulnerable in the heart is the warrior. And these guys are strong, but they are vulnerable and open. And they feel so deeply. They don't ignore their feelings. They feel them. And that's why it can be so intense for them, because they feel it so deeply. They feel when that mother is being raped, and, and they stand. They won't give up, because they feel it too deeply. It runs so deeply into their veins. And it is a 24/7 thing, During the day, we can do so much. But in the night, we can be so powerful.
Thank you, Dan. Wow, what a sharing.
Jim and then Dan, this is precious.
Wow. What a blessing. Okay. We'll have a little pause, and then the next person, please speak up.
Could I just ask Dan about you talked about his history, and then you talked about herstory. Is that happening? Do you think? I hope so. The new energy, female energy rising. Is that part of what you're doing?
Yeah. Thank you, Joan, for adding into that. It's when you've got the Roman was the patriarchal side of the law. They left the matriarchal side behind and became a very patriarchal system. And the tribe hold the original system where both the patriarchal and the matriarchal were in balance. And they have a word for that called matristic law. And so natural law is made up of matristic law of balance of patriarchal and matriarchal. And so some of the changes that we're going to be seeing is in the matriarchal side, it's more about the preservation and the creation of nature and the ability to birth, the birthing process. And at the moment, what the masculine did was put all the lines in place. So you're like, there's the flower of life. There's the masculine, which draws all the rates. You get the geometry out. And then you've got the feminine version. When you color in, you get the other side to the knowledge. And so even within that, there's the two aspects. And so the patriarchal drawing the lines and all the roads are the song lines where the animals would trail. That was the trails that we followed. They've expanded to be the horse and cart and then became the road. That's the animal song lines. The shipping lanes, they're using all the currents and so forth. That's where the fish would travel. So what they're saying is they said there's going to be a technology shift. Prepare for that. So you're going to have to perceive into things you can't see now. But the borders, the fences are coming down. And then I see that already coming through when Phil Lane is presenting the ecosystem map. that's the migratory flow of the animals. That's the her story component to it. That's the deep secret knowledge that we're all connected. Stop cutting our leg off, cutting ourselves off. We've got to learn that our breath is an interconnected breath with all things. And that's coming back to the inner resonance, the feeling. Man, Shayla, you're talking there. You're talking the feeling. It's here. And keep going, keep singing. You know, it is that the two coming together. When you bring the patriarchal and matriarchal, it ain't the same of both. Something magical happens. And we're in that as above, so below process right now with Gubble and the family and ourselves with Sacred Earth. We're bringing the Sacred Earth and the Secret Earth together. And something else will emerge. And Gubble's saying that what's coming and what we'll do won't just change Australia. It won't just change the Earth. This is going to change the universe. And in terms of walking back to the ancients, Gubble's saying that that's what we're doing this weekend, is we're walking back to the ancients. We're engaging with those ancients and bringing it forward with that blessing of all. It can have to be all oneness, but we had to go back to the ancients to be able to bring it forward. So, and then we're all sharing in that. So this call, the timing of this and what we're feeling and the vibration of this time, it's time, you know, it's all of you, when the calling comes, that the time to all come together to celebrate and bring this together, because it is a co-creation. Each of us have a color, a vibration, a frequency, our resonance, which actually equals a color. Yeah. We got to find our own color and vibrate that color as bright as we can be. Yeah. Because that's what we're here to do. We got to be that color, not any other color. I'm not trying to be someone we're not. We've got to find that color within. And that's what the oneness dreaming. We get to live our true expression of truth. And we get to know that our kids coming forward, well, they're here for that. You know, we're going to empower them, and we're going to have fun empowering the future leaders to care for this sacred earth. And that's what's bringing us all together now. And thank you for all the sharing. And Andrew and Connie, thank you so much. You know, your dedication to this, Greg and Joan and Jim, Jenny, you're all amazing. Maureen, Janice, and, you know, you're all an amazing family. So thank you so much for just turning up and keeping this dreaming alive and this dreaming story and bridging this quantum, you know, and bringing the science. And because we are dreaming in sin, we have this dream. And when we do link back to the ancients, when we do understand the energy vibration frequency and we resonate with nature, we can align and we go together with nature. We're not leaving her behind. She ain't leaving us behind. We go together and we all go all colors together, but it's more than just us as humans. You know, that's what's so amazing. When you do get to really imbibe with the tribes, magic does happen. You know, you do connect to the spirit of the tree and you have a communication. But it had to be a certain resonance to perceive it, and for it to and the way in which a tone of which it speaks through the dreaming. One little taste of that is the most sweetest nectar that I've ever tasted on the whole planet, my physical existence. It just can't compare to a sensory engagement experience that we get, and they're entering us in. We'll all get that opportunity to discover who we really are, and we'll all spiral into our own infinite potentiality at our own space and time, and sharing that magic with each other as we grow together. So thank you again. You know, really, really beautiful to share this space with you. And from Trinity Beach and Jim, you're absolutely on those. You bring two together and you create third. That's even a new form that couldn't be perceived by either two. And that's where we're up to. So bringing that patriarchal together, they do hold that ancient knowledge of, and it's very deep. It's very reverent, very respectful. And we're only beginning that gateway, but they're ready to open that door now. That they haven't done that before, and they're ready to open that door to us. They say, "Well, you're ready now." And Gubble has protocol approval to share a lot of this stuff. He's been designated, prepared all his life for this time, and he'll get very emotional through this period of his family coming together, because he feels that deeper than anyone I've ever met. Of how the oneness and how we are one and how we are all connected. And he holds that space, and his arms are open to bring all of that family together now. So it's beautiful to witness that unfolding. We're doing it on spirit time. We got in, the last instruction was that the ancestors said that we had to come and sit with them. We had to vibrate with them at their vibration, not bringing our vibration of what we are now. We have to actually attune ourselves. And so that's why going on country is our next step. And we're going to bring Tracey up on that. So exciting to have Tracey up here with us. And and sharing and bridging that feeling story to extend us all, because we're all part of that story, you know.
She's the messenger.
Yeah.
You have to bring it back to us, Trace.